Hey, welcome to Dad Space. This is Dave. It's a little different music this time around. Yeah, a little different. What are we doing? Well, this is National Podcast Post Month. What does that mean to you? It means to you that you're going to get 30 episodes in 30 days. 30, I know, right? And the idea is that as podcasters, we're going to create episodes in support of National Podcast Post Month. They call it hashtag #NaPodPomo for those at home that are keeping score. But the idea is that we just create content for you daily in the month of November. So we are focusing on some great people that have been past guests on the show and friends of the show, answering questions about dads and giving you some feedback. And then also adding in some of the books that I found and resources I found as a fellow dad that could help you possibly on your journey as a dad. So that's kind of what we're focusing on this month, and I'm excited to share this with you. It's going to be a great month, and today's episode is part of that. I'm excited to share with you a new resource, possibly new to you, and tell you my thoughts about it here on Dad Space. Glad to be with you. The other big part of November, which I'm excited to also bring forward for those that are unaware, is we call it also Movember. What is Movember? It's when the mustache is calling. It is our time as men to unite, to take on mental health, suicide, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and all of that is to shine a light on men's mental health and men's physical health. And we're celebrating Movember as well. Link in the show notes for you to see how you can support is to raise money and awareness for men. So on top of doing National Podcast Post Month, this month is always focused on you as well as men. We're here to support you and to let you know that there's a community around you that's wishing and searching for the best for you as men. So happy Movember, everyone, as well. Let's get into the podcast. So we're doing some quotable quotes, some things to inspire you as a dad, things said by other people a lot smarter than me that really have stuck with me over the years, things that I share with dads when I talk to dads over at dadspace.ca. And this one comes from somebody pretty familiar with many of us. William Shakespeare said, "It is a wise father that knows his own child." It is a wise father that knows his own child. William Shakespeare. His words remind me and other dads the importance of understanding and connecting with your children on a deeper level. We're not just there as the discipline, we're not just there as the provider, we're not just there to put food in the cupboard, and that's not the extent of our influence, our importance as a dad in the home. We are really here to know our kids and to know them well. And the reverse, for them to know us. If you grew up in a home where your dad was distant, where your dad was disconnected, working a lot, maybe you grew up without a dad. So you don't really feel like you know your dad. That's one thing. That's something that you really need to work through and figure out how you can be a great dad if you haven't had a great example as a dad in your life. But at the same time, we need to know our kids. When you have more than one, I have 3, they're all completely different. They're all in their own paths. Yeah, they look like me, they look like my wife, but they're all different, unique human beings, and one thing doesn't serve all of them. One way of discipline, one way of guidance, one way of encouragement doesn't work on the other ones. You need to get to know your own kids and know how they think, how they function, how they work. And by doing that, you'll see that your relationship gets deeper and stronger over time. So, how well do you know your own kids? To William Shakespeare's quote, "It's wise father that knows his own child." How well do you know your kids? For an empty nester like me, when was the last time you talked to your kids? Do you know what they're doing right now? When's the last time you tucked your kids into bed instead of watching hockey or baseball or football? When's the last time that you spent quality time with your kids without your phone in your hand, without the laptop, without social media? When's the last time you put your phone down and instead of taking a selfie, you actually spent time with your kids? There's things we can all do better. We're all on a different sliding scale. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's a wise father that knows his own child. So what are you going to do today? How are you going to get to know your kids? Would love to hear what you're doing. dadspace.ca. Let me know. Happy Movember, everybody. This is Dad Space. I'm glad you're here. Happy November to you. Happy Movember. And I would love for you to share this with another dad. This podcast, this Movember, this month where we focus on dads, this is the focus on you. And we are in your corner. If you've ever felt like you're alone, if you've ever felt like you're doing this on your own and there's no one there to help you and support you, then let Dad Space be that for you this Movember. We need to stick together. We need to be there to support each other and build each other up as men. And this was an entire month focused on us being Movember. So happy Movember, everyone. Understand that you're loved, cared for, and needed in this world. And there's no one else that can be the father that you can be. There's no one else who can be the man that you can be. And we need you. Happy Movember. Thanks for listening to Dad Space. I look forward to having you back for the next daily episode here in the month of November as we celebrate Movember and National Podcast Post Month. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a great dad. And thanks for sharing the show. Happy Movember, everybody.
It's time to rethink men's health. Because it doesn't just affect men, it affects us all. When men are well, the benefits ripple through families and communities. But when men are unwell and unsupported, we all feel it. We're all the real face of men's health. Be part of the solution with Movember.